coming up out of the water now, and the main adit keeps running back that way. To my right, I'm not quite sure what this is actually, but it stretches back there, fairly deep water, into just that lattice work of timbers and equipment back there. I can't really tell what it is, but the water is really deep and it would be really tough to navigate through all that collapsed timber, so I think I'm not going to go back there. That's the area with all the collapsed woodwork and such. And of course the main attic goes there. There's also some stuff over here. You can see the drift runs back that way a little ways. Looks like it's all backfilled. Looks like it might have had an LHD back here. Looking this way, looks like the drift runs back to that point and stops. See the high pressure pipes right there. And right in front of me is something kind of interesting. You can see they're injecting Freon into the sides of the adit here. And it looks like there's another one down there. You can see part of. Yep, that is what that is. And then, oh, actually it looks like the adit might go a little bit farther. Yep, that is exactly what that is. And I'll cruise down there and see what that is. Alright, getting down to the end here. You can see another one of those Freon injection sites here. And just a little chamber back here. And that looks like it ties back into the main adit right there. I'll double check that, of course. And behind me here, or I should say in front of me now, is the purpose of the Freon injection. You can still see there's still some charts in here. I was looking for a date on this, and I noticed up on top right there, it says 1987. So, tell you it's been down here for a while. That's the office for the deep basing project right there. And indeed, as I speculated, this is the main adit here. Kind of cool. See all that cribbing up there. And also just to sort of see how the structure of the adit looks from the outside. Or I should say the structure of the steel set looks from the outside. So we went in back that way where that junction is, and now, again, I just came out of there, and we are continuing down this way for quite a ways. The drift carries on that way. But off to the left here, there's a chamber that looks like it Might be somewhat interesting. It's barricaded off there. There's a sealed off stope right there, and a fair amount of materials come down back here. I was just down there a moment ago, and you see all this stuff back here. That's kind of funny. You can see all the stuff back here is starting to come down. And the rails are just hanging out in space right here. That's the chamber I was just checking out. And now we are continuing down the main drift here. Alright. A little nasty again up here. Glad I got the waders. Yep, it gets wet again. I'm out of the water now. The adit really opens up. It's probably about 15 feet high right there. And it keeps running back for quite a ways. It's got a rail junction here. Heading off back that way. Of course, the main attic goes that way, and there's just a little chamber cleared out there. Okay, the main attic keeps running off that way. This one on the right, because it's on the right, we're gonna cruise back here, check this out. Plus, that rail is appealing looking. Unbelievable how wide that rail is. Looks like it might stop there, actually. This just stops here. Yep, I just stopped right there. That's that little side drift we just explored, and so now we are going to continue down the main adit here. Man, it is incredibly large in here. Absolutely enormous. Again, that's probably 15 feet up and easily 12, 13 feet wide. Really amazing how spacious it is in here. See some of the timber work over there. So just like a railroad, there's actually a siding over here for the ore carts. You can see the rail running back there, so they could have put them here to get them out of the way, or let another set of ore carts being pulled pass by, what have you. Pretty incredible. And as you can see, it just keeps going. Still going. Still incredibly large up above. Just, you literally could run a train through here. It's amazing. Little drift right there. This is looking down that side drift. Looks like it's collapsed there, but there's a raise and a ladder headed up here. Goes up to a platform there. And like I said, I think this is collapsed back there. I'll go check. Still heading back. Looks like there's another raise left right here. Also here. And it is collapsed here. You see all this material that came down there. And it keeps going beyond. Just passed by that ugly collapse right there. And right next to me here is an ugly looking raise. It's just waiting to come down. It's a mixture of rock and crushed timbers. And in front of me, looks like we might pick up with the main adit again somewhere, somehow. Yeah, that's it down there. And we're actually, I'll show you in a second. That's the main adit. We're actually on the other side of a dam. See, that's it on this side. And you can see, obviously, there's a fair amount of water back here sometimes. And it runs back there and gets real skinny, real tight back there. This was presumably built to hold back a fair amount of mud and debris because, like I said, we're almost touching the top of the adit here, and you can see how far down it is there. That's a good 6 feet down or so. And then, like I said, it gets real tight back there. You have to crawl to get through that, which I'm not particularly in the mood for, so I think we'll carry on down the main drift. There's some interesting mineralization I wanted to show you guys here. I don't know if the camera's picking up how sparkly that is, but that is extremely sparkly. Maybe you can see it better with less light, actually. We were just standing up there a minute ago behind that barrier. The main adit keeps running that way, and then directly behind me here, or across from the barrier there, is this section, which is actually fenced off with a chain link fence. And I think I might be able to see why, given how sketchy that looks back there. We agreed that we didn't really feel like climbing over the fence, so we are going to continue down main drift here. We're still carrying on down the main adit, but something interesting here on the left, and that is some older workings that they pass by. Not in great shape anymore, to be sure. Alright, continuing on. Still in the main adit. Just off the main adit here, and there's a caved drift right here, but if our map reading skills are correct, we should be able to access that on the other side farther back. Just in front here, I thought it was kind of cool. You can see where obviously there's been some moisture in here, which has washed the sand down into artistic colors and patterns and such. But for now, we will keep going down this main adit. And trust me, we've gone a long ways. I'm just stopping and showing you the highlights. There's a lot of walking in between that I'm not bothering to share. Alright, looks like we're coming up on another collapse here. So we might be able to get over it up there. But it's not pretty, to be sure. I'm up on top of the collapse now. I was just standing over there a moment ago, and it is possible to get past this. We're just checking it out now. There's a fair amount of water down there. I was just up there a moment ago, and I'm actually down in the water now, and keeps running back that way, and also over there. Okay, again, that's looking back toward that big collapse. Exploring buddy's just coming down now. Decided to stick with the main adit here, which carries on that way and looks like it comes out of the water. Alright, coming up out of the water now, and as you can see, it just keeps going. Alright, the main drift is running off that way, but we have come to a crossroads. You can see there's some stuff running off here on the right, so we're going to go check that out. It says danger, do not enter, and right there it says looks like 6230 manway. It is a bit crumbly back here, and oh, slipping and sliding all over. There is a look up manway. That manway's right there. Got a explosives box here, a little pocket right there, and looks like some chambers running off in different directions here. Just look inside the explosives real quick, and there is some stuff inside here. So we got some blasting caps. So since that says Atlas Powder Company, we're assuming that is dynamite. And like I said, I think those are blasting caps right there. Should I just drop it and let it slam really hard?
Genius.
So the explosives boxes are right there. There is a drift running off over there. And it looks like maybe there. That's just backfilled here. And there's something running off that way too. Looks like another box right there, backfilled. Danger, no smoking. And let's see if this one goes anywhere. Looks like that one stops right there, but we'll double check. So I think we'll stick with the right hand rule and go down this section here. So yeah, that was just a pocket there, and then it keeps running this way. If our map reading skills were correct, this is the other side of that collapse that I mentioned earlier was possible to access from the other side. Pretty certain that's what that is. We just came from that drift there, and I'm back in the room where the explosives are. My exploring buddy just went down that drift you're wondering about and said that that's a toilet. And then just over here, that box we were wondering about is apparently filled to the top with dynamite. Oh wow, indeed it is. Look at that. Alright, that box of explosives is right there, and gives more emphasis to the no smoking sign right there. And in this direction, it runs back into the main adit, and we'll continue down that way. Alright, that's the section we just came out of, and back in the main adit, and you can see there's a rail junction here, and very muddy here, and there's something back there, I can see there's something there with quite a lot of water, and it looks like something going off that way too, and the rails also continue to run off that way. I'll go look at this lake first, since my exploring buddy is checking out that one right now. Alright, I'm where that lake is, and I can see it keeps running off that way. This one ties into the area my buddy was just checking out because I saw his light back there. And I think I'll check that on the other side because that's kind of nasty looking. Okay, I was just checking out the lake there on the other side of that pile. And now we've got this to explore. Looks like they store equipment in here. See some hoses and fittings and that sort of thing, as well as a very old set of overalls here. And just goes back there and then loops around to that section we looked in before, so I won't bother with that. Okay, that little workshop tool room I just explored is right there, and that lake is right here. And according to our map, this just loops back into the main adit, so we're not going to bother going down that. Something interesting about this pile of debris here, waste rock, is that there's a reason it's here, and that is because there's a borehole here, a massive borehole here, that leads all the way to the surface, way, way up there. That is wild. Okay, I was just standing there on top of that pile checking out the borehole, and now we are going to continue down the main adit this way.